Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Colum Tyrrell Podcast. How are we all doing? We got a special guest, Raanan Hershberg, coming in. He's going to be promoting his special. Make sure you check that out. It's linked in the description below. I've got dates coming up in Ireland and the UK. I'm going to be in Glasgow. I'm going to be in Liverpool. I'm going to be in London. I'm going to be in Belfast. I'm going to be in Dublin. Also got North Carolina. Also got Skankfest. We're also adding wherever the fuck Soul Joel's is. Loads of different places all over the fucking
Soul Joel's in PA?
Yes.
Let's go.
So we're going to be fucking selling tickets for that. Head over to columtyrrell.com to catch me live. And if you want to see me in your town, just leave a comment. Let me know where you want to see us. Also, head over to the Patreon. Patreon.com/columtyrrell. That's what keeps the lights good running above our head. If you just, it's a month-to-month thing. You go $5, you get an extra episode a week. And for $10, then there's a bunch of extra features too. So head over there. At the goal of, our new goal is going to be at 400 people. I'm going to Billy Joel on shrooms.
Let's go.
I'm going to record the whole thing. It'll just be me on shrooms. One of you fucking gimps is going to come along. I don't know who. Probably be Coop because none of you guys can handle a camera. Yeah. But
I can handle psychedelics though.
You want to do the fun part of the fucking video.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so head over there at 400 people. We're at 3 something, and we're also going to start doubling all the amount of content that goes out there over the next couple of weeks. So things are growing. We're happy with it, and the squad is good. And real good. I've got world domination in my eyes right now. I don't know what happened. You know, sometimes you got to go like these layers, and now I'm just like, I'm zoned in, tunnel vision, taking over the world. You know, I think it's something to do with the fact that old bitch of a queen died, and now I'm just like, I'm free from the shackles of the past. That old woman. Here's the thing. I don't really give a fuck about the monarch too much. Here's the thing. She represented fucking outdated, pretty I don't know if evil's the right word, but certainly mean. They're mean to a lot of places. A lot of countries had all their shit taken from them. Although India never got any better. A lot of the times when these people take over, they make your country a little bit better. They bring in some like stuff.
Some plumbing.
India's a dump. They left it worse than they found it. They really ransacked that place. There wasn't many jewels to take. But anyway, so in saying all that, and we don't believe in the patriarchy, let alone the monarchy. You should be celebrating an old woman's death in a way. You know, it's like you don't get many opportunities to do that. It's just the saddest thing is that she lived so old. This is the problem. Is that it was like everyone's like talking about the Irish all over fucking Dublin and the rest of the country. Everyone's just like out fucking singing songs. There's a great video of a soccer game in Dublin, and the crowd's full. And it's a small soccer game in Dublin, so it's like a football as we call it. It's only like fucking 4,000 people at the thing, but the crowd's all singing. It's like do. Lizzie's in a box, Lizzie's in a box. I'm telling you, you don't have much more fun than the Irish. And then there's those guys doing the tap dancing outside the fucking Buckingham Palace, going bum, bum, bum. Another one bites the dust. But again, all of that is like, it doesn't. She was gonna die eventually. It's not like it's a celebration would have been if the fucking Ra blew up one of our fucking cars. That's what if some fucking dope from Derry shot her in the fucking back of her head at night. That would have been like a celebration. In 1972, someone did. There's been loads of attempts on our life over the years. You know, if one of them was successful, that's more of a like we got her. That's a we got him.
Finally got the bitch.
That's a we got him scenario. But she died of COVID 2 years ago. She actually died of COVID a year ago, and they were waiting for an opportunity for the Prince Andrew is a nonce thing. So that was another one. Now it's like, so Prince Andrew, who is apparently reinstated. Prince Andrew, best friends with Epstein. We all know that. He's been into some dodgy stuff. But that's kind of what you want from your billionaires and royal family. There's something about that. If like what are they doing? You know, what's Richard Branson doing at night? Is he just watching TV? Or is he raping a little girl?
On his private jet.
What a waste of money if you're not doing something like absolutely egregious. Did I use that word correctly?
Absolutely.
I heard someone else say it once. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, you got to be doing pure evil stuff. I want you to be just robbing an African country of their resources. I want you poisoning fucking water supplies. I want you fucking running a international sex trafficking ring and blackmailing people of power into your bidding, you know, and working for the CIA. I want you doing that type of stuff. I want you interfering with elections. I want you getting your kids away with a fucking drunk hit and run. You know, I want you using your power to just be purely fucking white. Just go be white. Be as evil and white as you can with all of your energy. Genuinely. If you're not like just dumping toxic waste on Mars or whatever the fuck they're doing, or planning an escape route to the moon the second the thing goes fucked up. I think that's just what you should be doing. You should be completely lying. I watched the Army Hammer documentary, and his great-great-grandfather or something like that. He was one of the richest men in the world. He had an oil company, but he used to rub shoulders with all these like the super elite across the world. Like he was a very powerful billionaire. Yeah. And then it turns out he was like a master bribe and blackmailer. So he would bribe politicians to like do whatever. He's like, here's $200 million. You're gonna let me run my oil
I'm
rig.
drilling in your backyard.
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, sorry, this little town in fucking Texas. You're getting you're getting smashed
You're
up.
all getting cancer.
You're fucked. Yeah. Good. I hope you like having fucking one leg.
No abortions. Your kids can just get birth.
Don't worry about it. Just drink the tap water. Yeah, you'll be fine. Exactly. But then what he was doing was he would bribe them, and he was wearing an undercover wire. So he'd be like, here's the bribe now of $200 million. And then he would come back to them a year later and he's like, I need you to do this. And they're like, that's $200 million. He's like, you're doing it for free. And they go, why? He goes, and plays the tape. He goes, I'll bring us both down, motherfucker. And so then he had that, like, what a legend. Yeah. Legend. Fucking nice. Dude, and he was dating this one chick, this guy. I don't know what his name was, if you want to look it up. Something Hammer, the grandfather. We should get Davey doing that. If he's on the ones and twos, you should be just like looking that shit up if you can. Armand was the original one, I believe. Not his father. It was like his great grandfather. Anyway, regardless, he had a side piece, right? It was like his secretary. Armand, that's the same guy. Whatever. It was his secretary. The great grandfather was banging a woman that he worked with, and her name was like Samantha Jones or one of the characters from Sex and the City, and his wife caught him, and she was like, I don't want that whore around here no more. She's a husky, or whatever they would say. She's a hussy. She's a no good hussy. So he's like, I got rid of her. And then they were like, okay. So he's like, I hired a new secretary called Amanda Jones, and it was just her with a wig on. It was just the same girl. It was the exact. She had a wig and glasses on. And because he was banging her, dude. It was his little side project. She's
got like Groucho glasses.
Yeah,
on.
Yeah. She wore a suit and pretended to be a man. But the wife was like, "Good, don't let me see that other one around here anymore." Okay, see? Pretty interesting. I'm just saying, be evil with your money. So like the royal family, it's funny when they die. It's fun for them to do that. It is sad that she was so old, so we didn't even get like I want to see the when the royal babies die. I want to see little young. I want to see 4-year-old Charles get a brick to the head at a protest. I don't know. Let's see if Andrew's babysitting the fucking kids, will we? No. Let's find out if he's hanging out with those kids. I don't think they have a good relationship. I doubt it. I doubt they've ever left him alone in the room with any of them.
Uncle Andrew.
Mr. No Sweat. That was his thing. He in the world's most diabolical press conference of all time, a marketing campaign, Prince Andrew was accused. There was the photo of him with the girl. He was like 15, and he was like, "Oh, that's photoshopped, as you can tell. I've never been upstairs in that room, in that house." He literally goes, "I've never been upstairs in that house, so it's obviously photoshopped." And you go, "That's not evident."
Yeah, they got a video of him literally coming out the front door.
Yeah,
that's not me.
His defense was, "Nuh-uh." That was his defense. Nope. He just, that has to be fake because it wasn't me. He's like, listen to the Shaggy, wasn't me. But there's a photo with your arm around the teenager, wasn't me. She said you were all sweaty, wasn't me.
I even saw you on the jet plane.
It wasn't me. We got your name in the logs here, it wasn't me.
Donald Trump must have caught me red-handed.
Prince Andrew does fucking Shaggy. What the Shaggy man? That's funny as fuck. Yes, so he did that, but then he went on TV, and I don't know how because the royal family's image is so well kept that I don't know how he was ever even in a situation where they let him talk to someone on camera.
One-on-one.
It was nuts. It was nuts. I think they froze him out, and he went, "I'm going to save the day, mommy. Mommy, I'll handle this." And then she went, "You dumb little retard." You know, she was kicking fucking, she kicked one of our little corgis. Yeah, she's like, "You fucking retard." You just hear the Queen. "In all my fucking years, fucking head of this fucking country, you fucking..." "Mommy, please. Mommy, please." Yeah, and she was like, "We have a photo of you here." And he goes, "I've never been upstairs, so that's obviously Photoshopped." Next. And then he goes, "She said you were sweating all over her." And he goes, "Well, actually, I couldn't sweat for a while."
Yeah, because I don't sweat.
He goes, "I couldn't for a while." He's like, "I'd just gone back from the Falklands, the easiest war of all time, where England just smashed the fuck out of Argentina for a couple of weeks. Some tiny little village people. There's like 200 people on an island.
They're throwing rocks at them.
Yeah, they beat the living fuck out of them. Oh, they ragdolled them, dude. It was a shit show. Anyway, he was like, "I had shell shock, and part of that shell shock is like I couldn't sweat." Like, "You're sweating right now." He's like, "Oh, well, I got back. I'm better now." It's like, is there any proof of this? Is there any proof of this? Just like this, there's a piece of paper that says "My doctor," signed "My doctor." Anyway, he fucked himself up. So then they cut him from all his royal duties, and then they paid off the girl. Apparently, they paid off the girl $12 million out of court settlement. Got to get that changed, dude. Got to get that changed. And everyone's like, "That's taxpayers' money," and it's like, yeah, but just give it to her. Like give it to the give it to the girl.
Give it to the American slut.
Give it to the.
My bad.
Whoa. Yeah, what was she doing in the first place? Anyway, but the real interesting thing with all this stuff, it's all make-believe and it's all bullshit, whatever. In the early 1900s, the British monarch, the royal family sat down with the world's best marketeers, or whatever you want to call them. And they sat down and they made a 500-year plan of survival. Like, how can we keep our family survive for the next 500 years? Because after World War I, all of the other monarchs in Europe crumbled because everyone was like, "Yo, fuck this. We're all poor. Our life sucks. There's a guy in a castle with magic blood." They just marched in and was like, "We're taking you out. Yeah. Leave." And you can hang around. Some of these countries will still have like a royal family, but they're not powerful at all. Or there's just like some guy like fucking Johnny, he used to work here. Like his parents used to be like the king and queen of Holland for a while or something. It's fucking nuts. And now he's just hanging out, fucking smoking crack. But that's just the way it was, right? And one of the things that they realized was like, all the other royal families were hidden. You never knew anything about them, and they would never really even give that many. They would give like some speeches, but most of the families were hidden up in a castle. Yeah. So, and you just had to believe they were doing fancy things up there. And then the British family were the first one. They had that young prince guy who eventually left the crown so he could fuck that American chick. He gave up the crown to get some American tail. Look, American pussy's good, dude. Man, imagine 1920s American pussy. She probably has a shaved box or something. Who knows? She probably takes it in the mouth, like back in the days. She put it in your ear, into my mouth, her royal mouth, I tell you. But she kisses her children. So he left anyway, but he was the first prince who came down and was like shaking hands with the people. Like, so he would walk down the street and they would have and he would just be shaking all their hands. So all the British were like, "He's one of us. Yeah. Oh, yes, he's one of us." So then when it came time for them to finally go, "Let's get rid of these guys," they like most of the country was like, "No, we love this guy."
Yeah, we love this guy.
So everything they've done in power is like, because it's fictional. It's probably the most interesting marketing of any company in the world. It's one of the biggest and most successful like companies or businesses or whatever or firms in the world, and they don't have a product. It's just them going, "Let us be king, please." Still, and so they market it in such a way. So honestly, Everyone should watch Prince Charles and his fucking big fat sausage fingers come out and be like, now more than ever, mummy has died. But now more than ever, she was like, not only was she my mother, she was a mother to Great Britain. All of us. And he's like, and now we need the monarch now more than ever. And it's like, it just like everything they do is just purely strategized to keep them in charge. Yeah. They don't really have any real political powers. That's another struggle that they've been going through for years. They lost political power back in the fucking 1800s or 1700s or something like that. They were just like, look, something happened. I can't remember what exactly happened, but there was like a bad like war or something. And then the prime minister was like, we're taking over the politics now. You can fuck off. But they've slowly given away the strength, you know. But it's just, I think it's interesting because at any moment, it's just a belief system. I think 50% of the British love them, and 50% of the people are like, who are these guys?
They're like the fucking Kardashians of
Dude,
England,
it's like
literally.
the Kardashians, but at least the Kardashians are kind of like, they're earning their own money in a way.
Yeah, like they
they're
actually
earning
have
it.
products. Yeah.
They have makeup. There's
tits
no
and ass.
Prince Andrew Jordans. There's no Yeezys out there. You know, but I think it's interesting. Like if you ever watch the West Wing and all that stuff, they talk about how your speeches are going to be analyzed and all so that's what they did for 500. Imagine having a 500-year plan, because their business is the family, and it's kind of fucked. Being the queen, it's not like it's a good life. Your job is to keep the charade going. Yeah. Your job is to keep, while also looking after the country, kinda. Your job is to, most importantly, is to keep your family in charge and keep that going forever. So then next thing you know, when fucking the redhead goes off with some fucking black chick and fucking moves to Canada and starts a podcast, you're going, what in the royal fuck? Do you know the sacrifices I've made? You're sticking it in a fucking dirty little... The most creative fucking slurs you've ever heard in your life. She's one of those, is she? They also say, someone said, what color is the baby going to be? This was a real thing with Meghan Markle came out. And they acted this was really bad. Like, she went on Oprah and she was talking about the horrors of the fucking royal family. And it is weird. They have all these weird things. Like, so, like, all these princes, the prince now, what's his name? Prince Charles. Like, he was never allowed to, like, hug his mom or whatever. Because it's like they have these weird rules. But again, those rules are just set in place so that they have this magical, we are different than you. We are better than you. So this whole, like, how to meet and greet and all that type, that's just like a gimmick that they've created because people want to believe they're like different. Mm-hmm. But they're not. They're the exact same. They're just inbred retards who fuck their cousins. That's just the way it is. They're just lucky that happened to be. I think it was the orange cunt. What's the King Henry, or the orange fucker? He's the Norwegian guy. But he was the one who conquered all of Europe, and then he just gave it down the line. They eventually got the Queen Victoria, who was all of Europe, and then she broke up Europe again between all her kids. So someone got Spain, someone got France, someone got England, and then 2 generations after that, all the other ones started to fall, and Britain were like, I've never met that person in my life. They're like, cousin, please. I don't know who you are. Get away from me, you dirty Spaniard. Yeah, so that's pretty. So, but they were just lucky that civilization kind of caught up where we're just not in a world where we can just go in and take off someone's head. Yeah. I'm like, I'm king now. I'm the king. I killed her. Imagine that someone walked out one day with the queen's head on a fucking spike.
Wild.
It's mine. Finders keepers. Fuck off. First rule, 3-day weekend. And everyone goes, long live the king. You just do Coke for all. Coke and horse for all. 3-day weekend. Long live the king. Collie the king.
This is the day he became king.
For he is Collie the king. King Collie's great.
King Collie's great.
I'm not run on that. King Collie.
Let's do it.
King Collie the Great.
The reign starts today.
3-day weekend. Coke and whores.
32-hour work week. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Jewish slaves to do all your like admin around the house. Blacks for the front, Jews for the back, right? You want any labor done? That's where you get your big boys, the athletic ones. And then if there's anything like going to the DMV or filling out forms, if you ever get into a vendor bender and you gotta like type up something, and it's just like you'd rather just, yeah. Amazon returns. That's your Jew slave. Fucking send this back to Amazon. That's what if I had a Jew slave, he'd just be doing like things like emails for me, really.
Printing return labels.
Just, typing shit up and just all that kind of, I'm not doing my taxes. Pretty much, I guess, you could argue. And then I would feel bad. So I would feel bad. You can just get 20% of the return. So I get pretty much a juice slave is just me hiring an accountant.
A functioning secretary.
I just want him to do it for free. That's all I'm saying. Like, can't you just do it yourself? No, slaves. And if you're Spanish, you can do whatever you want. You're free. You're free. We don't want you involved. You're not getting in the house. Anyway, I just think you should watch like his fucking Charles, Prince Charles is like, or King Charles,
King
I guess.
Charles, yeah.
His speech. That's like the weight of the future of that family weighs on it. It's kind of nuts. It's also like, it is kind of cunty. If you're born into that situation, the pressure, because your whole life is that your life is the job. The job is your life. So it's like you can't have one or the other.
Yeah, he's like, what, 70 something? He's been training his entire life.
His
to
whole
become
life.
king.
Yeah. And it's also this weird thing is like the day that his mother dies is also going to be an awesome day for him, you know?
Yeah, you know, he was like, fuck yes, I've been waiting
But
so
apparently he's
long.
always like, you have no idea what it's like when mommy will die. I shall be sad, but I shall also be the king. It's crazy. He walks around with his little fucking pudding fingers.
Oh,
Do you
you
see
see
them?
those? Yeah.
Nasty. You know Camilla's getting fucking absolutely broke open with them. Get the fingers again, Charles.
Dude, I'm the pink one in the stick of my life.
Can't I use my royal dick? My royal peni? No, the fingers.
The thumb is good.
You want the mitt? All right. Make sure you check out the Patreon, please, and hit subscribe. You know what we should do is we should do like a we're gonna go have a nice dinner today. The boys in the booth are always hard. We're gonna go have a nice dinner, right?
Hell yeah.
But what we should do is we should set like a YouTube goal. So like at 20, what are we at? 13,000 subs.
Yes.
How about at 20,000 subs, we'll all go to like Sparks Steakhouse or something. We'll go somewhere nice.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Sparks. I've never been to Sparks.
I never even heard of it, but sounds
Sparks
nice.
is where I can't remember his name. Some fucking stupid guinea got his head shot off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of them.
Interesting.
It's pretty much every steakhouse in America
And
has had an Italian man shot in the head.
Exactly. That's like
At
the
some
5
point.
Michelin star of an Italian restaurant.
It's
How
just,
many?
It's just like 3 cigars.
How
in a
much
row.
brain matter is in the carpet?
It's got 4 bullets and 5 golden cigars.
It's the secret ingredient for the sauce.
All right, we had a great interview right now with Raanan Hershberg. Make sure you check out the special. Thanks very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Colum Tyrrell Podcast is brought to you by Sheet Underwear. We talk about it every week. I have discharge, okay? It's like, it just happens sometimes. I went to the doctor and I go, I've been pre-cumming a lot. And he goes, no, that's an STD. That sounds like a joke. That did happen to me once.
What, you thought just a little dribble pee was coming out?
Look, I couldn't stop like peeing almost. You know, I kept needing to pee. You know when you feel like there's more to go, but there was nothing coming out?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, maybe it's a UTI. So I drank some cranberry juice. That did nothing. It made it worse. I dipped my dick in cranberry juice at the bar. Can I get vodka cran there? No need for a straw. I'll stir it myself. So I went to the doctor. I went to a doctor, and she was like, "What are your symptoms?" So I was like, it's kind of burning, not really burning on pee, but it's whatever. And and I just keep needing to pee. And she was, all right, cool. Any discharge? And I said, no. And she goes, all right, cool. She goes, take out your penis. She took out my penis and she looked and she's like, it was like dripping a little. She goes, that's discharge. And I went, oh, is it? I go, well, this is long overdue. I honestly thought it was just like a little bit of pre-cum or something. Just constantly pre-cumming.
Yeah.
I thought I was just always ready to bust.
Like
At any moment, just ready. Yeah, I just thought it was a little bit of cock drip.
Right.
I thought it was just a classic, friendly neighborhood cock drip. Anyway, I suffer from, if you suffer from cock drip, get yourself some Sheet underwear. Because what happens was I used to be dripping all over my nuts, but now because of Sheet underwear, they have a very special design where your cock goes one way, your ball goes the other, and then the rest of your body's like traditional. But they separate a little thin line, very thin line between your cock and your ball. So right now it's like all that soakage. All my cock is getting all soakage. My balls are not getting no drip. No dripping on my balls, no more. No more dripping on my balls.
Dry balls.
No, the driest balls, and they're like the Sahara Desert down there, dude. It's just if I could drop some water on it, they'd explode like like one of those beds or something. Is it? Anyway, the U.S. Army soldier Robert Patton. I did his podcast. Go check that out. He knew when he was off blowing up orphanages in Iraq and stuff like that. He realized that his dick and his nuts were sticking together in that Iraq heat. So he invented this underwear. I wear them all the time. If you want to be a real king, if you want to be king, Prince Charles, Prince Andrew wears sheet for sure. Just go to sheetunderwear.com. Use the promo code Collie, Collie, and you can get 20% off your first order. Every order comes from Sheets 100% money back guarantee. With Sheets 100% money back guarantee. That's sheetunderwear.com. Use the promo code Collie, Collie. Do it today. Your balls will thank you. Back to the show. We are locked and loaded today. We got a very special guest, Raanan Hershberg. Ladies and gentlemen, go nuts. The crowd. This is
oh wow, it's like morning radio.
This is we don't have a what's that, like a Puerto Rican car horn?
Yeah,
you know that one? Can you?
No. What? That's Puerto Rican?
That's what someone's told me.
I feel like you're really putting race into something that doesn't.
It's not white. It's not white.
Need to be put race into.
It's Spanish. It's definitely.
You know you're racist even car horns are getting fucking racial. Here's a Puerto Rican car horn. That's an Asian car horn.
Here's a Jew horn. That's haruga.
That's our famous catchphrase. Haruga. Yes.
Do you have any Do you have any good voice sound effects or anything that you can
like
do?
me, like the guy from Police Academy,
like Michael Winslow, yeah.
Oh no, Michael Winslow's the other guy, right?
Is it? No,
that is him.
Michael Winslow's the voice guy.
Yeah, Deep Cut. That's the guy from Police Academy. Not Deep Cut, but you had that in your back pocket very quickly.
Oh, I've met him a few times and stuff like that.
Oh, really? No.
He travels all over the world doing comedy. All over the world.
Oh, really?
And he's just the guy.
Right.
From
Well,
Police
sound
Academy.
effects are universal, right?
Exactly. He can be playing anywhere.
Go to India and do it. You know.
One of his issues is that he's too good at sound effects, though.
You mean like he's not that funny?
Yeah. Yes.
It's probably more of the other thing.
Yeah, but like when you get so good at that, it's like some people that do imperfect impressions never develop any humor because they're just like, oh, here's an impression of Barack Obama, but there's no. You're better off being a little less talented and bringing up the funny.
I don't know Michael Winslow. I don't want to shit on him. He'll come back. He'll come back at me with boop, boop, bing, bing, bing. But like, it's probably not so much that he's really good at sound effects. That he just probably doesn't have any material. You know what I mean? Like, if you had good material, you'd be like, he's good material and he's good at sound effects. It's probably just that he's not funny.
Yeah, it's not that funny, no. But he is amazing at them. Like,
I'm sure, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I don't. You're giving him too much credit to be like, the material's great, but his sound effects are so good, it devalues it. It's a problem. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to shit on the guy.
I just think if his sound effects weren't as good, he'd be forced to be funny.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, a hot girl doesn't have to be interesting.
Yes! Yes, Raanan!
This is an incel pod, right?
Hell yeah. Go check out his special for more.
Well, I'm telling you, I got my special coming out.
Please tell the people.
It's out. It's out today.
Look at one. I need the cameras. Doesn't really matter. Look at the camera. Point. Make sure you point. They like that.
Today. It's out today.
Today.
On YouTube. Jokes from the underground. I'm not actually like an alt-right guy. It's actually kind of a... it's not woke. It was whatever. I'm in the middle. But I don't know. I'm trying to explain myself. But I don't know what I'm saying.
Are we alt-right here?
Well, I don't want all these like alt-right people come on and be like, fucking, you haven't said anything about women being cunts. And it's like, I do it at the end.
I don't have an alt-right fan base.
I saw another clip. It just said incels on it, so I don't know. But that was female incels.
Well, I don't. Yeah. That's like a topic that we do every week.
But
female incels. So that could be on any episode from here.
All I know about you is I once shared some woman's clip that I thought was really funny, and then you messaged me, "Fucking pussy." It was like something insane. It was like,
no, you know what it was? I remember it now.
I'm calling you out. You were like you treated me like I was a traitor to men.
You know what
it was?
What's the one? I'm not sure if she's dating Samarel anymore, but she used to.
Oh, it was Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, you shared her special or something. Like, she's so funny, and I said, "Fucking simp."
Oh, yeah. But she is really funny.
She is very funny. Yeah, I just thought it'd be funny to call you a simp for sharing a female comic stuff.
But we didn't really know each other that well, so I'm like, I think that was a joke, but I also think maybe
I was not. No, it was obviously I was never going to tell you that. If that was real, I would have shared it with someone else going, check out this sim.
Well, we didn't know I had said hi to you like 4 times, and then you're like messaging me, fucking whore, you traitor. And I'm like, I don't know.
You read into that. All I said was fucking simp. That's all I said.
I had to ask Paloofa. I'm like, is he serious?
Did you really?
Yeah, she's like, no, I think he's joking. I was like, okay.
That's great. I love that. I wonder how many other times I've caused people to spiral into just me with a passing comment, never even thought about it again.
Yeah, I mean, but it was, but anyway, speaking of Sims, my special is today. It's out. Jokes from the Underground on YouTube.
It's going to be linked in the description on YouTube. And if you're listening, click on it, go watch it, leave a comment, get that up the algorithm. He produced it himself. We love DIY here. Fuck the industry.
Fuck the industry that I would have immediately accepted if they offered me the deal.
Yeah.
Fuck
dude,
them.
Listen. We all know what it is, dude. It's fuck the industry until they offer you.
Yeah. Fuck the industry I begged to have produce my special.
Yeah.
I don't need them anyway now that they aren't letting me do it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like calling a girl a lesbian after she rejects it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Rogue muncher, this girl. No
Netflix
way.
is a bunch of lesbians, and it's hard to get on Netflix now. You have to be a comedian. You have to be, I was thinking about it, to get on Netflix, you have to be either transgender or transphobic. It's one or the other to get on Netflix.
That's good. I'm going to be both. That's self-hating.
But, no, I'm joking. Definitely a lot of great comics.
But check it out.
Check it out.
It costs him a lot of money. He has his Venmo in the description, I guess, of the. Send him some money.
Send him some money. I'm broke.
He's out there. He's opening for Louie. They'll love that.
Oh yeah,
they'll love that. These fucking Nazis will love that.
And also, jokesfromtheunderground.com. If you click on that, it'll go right to it.
But, also, he has you have a movie podcast with
Joe
and
Raanan talk movies. We break down movies and. Instagram. On Instagram,
do you ever worry about you don't run out of movies?
No, there's a lot of movies.
Is there? Yeah. Good movies, then. But like,
well, we talk shit about bad movies.
Just any movie, it doesn't matter at all.
I mean, I'm more worried about running out of Joe wanting to do the podcast anymore. That's more,
what else? He ain't got nothing else going on.
I'm more running out of his tolerance of doing the podcast. But we got a lot of. There's plenty of movies. We talk shit about a lot of movies too, you know. So Joe was worried because he just made a movie. He's kind of worried because we talk shit about so many movies, and then it's like he just made a movie, so he's like
finally getting himself.
It's a little tough because we're like Shawshank Redemption can suck my dick or whatever the fuck, and then he's
you think that?
He doesn't. I think it is I think it's overrated. I think
grossly
it's
overrated.
This will get a lot. It's a stupid person's masterpiece.
Shawshank Redemption stinks.
I think dumb people are like, that's a masterpiece because it tells you everything it's about.
Yeah,
it has music. It has Morgan Freeman being like, there's literally a part.
He was feeling sad.
Yeah,
that day.
Yeah. and people think it's profound. There's literally a part. If I taught. Like film school, I would teach us in class. There's a part which could have been so beautiful where
prison rape.
The prison rape. Morgan Freeman's like, and that was really bad.
They should have had a better soundtrack. They should have like
terrible Morgan Freeman. Something they could do him. Hold on. I had my money on Andy. Nah, I'm terrible.
Andy Dufresne wasn't like.
Well, you definitely can't do it.
That's better than yours.
You're not going from Irish to black Southern.
well, Dale. Andy Dufresne.
Don't even fucking try it.
Andy Dufresne wasn't like all the others.
You can't go from not knowing how to do an American accent to Morgan Freeman to like a black voice from someplace.
Well, it was hotter than Mama's gumbo.
I don't think you're going to tackle that nuance. But there's a part where Tim Robbins breaks into the office and plays an opera. And everyone's in the field. And they just stand up and listen to the opera in this moment where they're like kind of liberated in that moment. It could have been a beautiful moment just as a shot, an image. No words need to express it. You see these prisoners listening to this opera. And they stand up. And in this moment, they feel a sense of liberation. But it's completely ruined by Morgan Freeman's voiceover going, I had no idea what those beautiful women were singing on the opera, but I imagine it was so beautiful. It was more than any words could ever. He's literally saying words cannot describe it in words. It's more beautiful than any words could not describe it. This voiceover is completely unnecessary, but I need everyone to know that this scene is profound. And then dumb people are like, "This is a masterpiece." Yeah. There's some good stuff in it, but ultimately it sucks.
On the opera too? Is that what he said? I don't know what those girls were saying on the opera. Why come these girls do be singing on the opera? Why do?
Where are you from in Ireland?
Dublin.
Dublin. Oh, yeah, we talked about this. I'm a big Joyce fan.
You are,
and you've heard of books.
Yeah. We use them to keep
that's our connection.
We put our cars on them when the wheels get stolen.
I love Irish literature. It's funny. It's like I'm a big fan, but
But you're not going to Ireland anytime soon? No.
No, I was going. I want to go. I really want to go. I mean, I'm such a Joyce nerd. I want to go to Dublin and like walk around the places.
Well, I do. Well, I know you open for Louie sometimes. He's playing in Belfast soon, so I was wondering if you.
No, I'm not going there. But I will go there. I love Ireland. They got it's such a small place, but they have like the greatest for the small place. You got Joyce, you got W.B. Yeats, one of the greatest poets. You have
Collie T.
You have
a great coming on a girl's Facebook.
You have great comedian Danny Boyle, and
that's great. That's a good reference, and no one else will understand.
Oh wait, is that his name, Danny Boyle? Frankie Boyle.
Oh well, Danny Boyle.
Wait, Danny Boyle's the director.
Danny Boyle is also. Oh, Danny Boy is who I'm thinking of.
Danny Frankie Boyle Irish?
Frankie Boyle is Scottish.
Which
is more funny because
Billy Connolly. No, that's Scottish too. Fuck,
yeah,
all the great comics are Scottish. Who's a good Irish comic?
Shut the fuck up!
Wait, who's a good Irish comic? What's
put one up a little?
Tommy
Tiernan.
Tommy Tiernan.
Tommy Tiernan is one of the best.
Yeah, him. Tommy Tiernan.
His cans are up and down. All right, yeah, Tommy's great. Dylan Moran is great.
Dylan Moran, but I guess you're right. The Scottish are better.
David O'Doherty is great. The Scottish accent is, I think, the funniest natural accent in the world.
And I think technically Stuart Lee, my favorite comedian, is part Scottish or originally Scottish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'd put him there.
Really, he repressed that side.
Yeah, completely. I think he was adopted, but he found out.
That's like when you find out Carrot Top is a Jew or something. It's like what? Like that.
I think he was adopted, but I think his family was Scottish.
Stuart Lee, you like Stuart Lee too?
I love Stuart Lee. I bet you hate him.
Yeah, I didn't like him. Never liked them. So never liked the people that liked them.
I know.
There's a real class divide though when it comes to like.
I know, and it's funny. It's
being
like
funny,
but I don't get it
gay.
because he's clearly being a smug character. So it's not like he's actually.
Yeah, but you didn't grow up with the copycat generation, and then these people who thought it was.
Well, he's like the Bill Hicks, right? Of like kind of just like.
Yeah, Bill Hicksy not making many jokes type of thing. So then you've got these other impersonators who go up and they just not funny. Yeah. And they go, no, that's like the thing. I'm like the unfunny guy. And they're like, yeah, it comes natural to you. Shut the fuck up.
But to me, Stuart Lee does have jokes.
Stuart Lee is the best example of it, but he has.
It is a like deconstruction of comedy. That's why when everyone's like busting their nut over Hannah Gatsby or whatever the fuck, I didn't think it was terrible, that show, but like Stuart Lee already does that, but is funny with it, like breaking down comedy. Hannah Gatsby did it in a way where like, let's break down comedy and never laugh again. Stuart Lee was like, let's break down comedy and be hilarious about it.
Yeah, it's again with the Hannah Gatsby thing. I grew up with all those comics at the Edinburgh Fringe doing unfunny one-man shows, which is it's kind of sad for English comedy because it used to be more just like traditional bullshit. Yeah. And then one comedian called Daniel Kitson.
I love Daniel.
Daniel's
Kitson.
great. Yeah, Daniel is great.
Yeah.
He was the first guy to like show up and was like, I'm going to do an entire show about loneliness.
Yeah.
But like, it was great.
But it was great.
It was funny and you cried and all this type of shit. And then he got a bunch of reviews. So then all these other people are going up going, I'm going to do a show how racism is bad. Yeah. And you're like, great. Because we all need our ideas flipped, do we?
Stuart Lee has one of the greatest disses of all time. I think about it like 12 times a day, just in terms of being a shitty, like just the ultimate shitty bird. He has a bit where he goes, yeah, apparently James Corden is a big fan of me, huge fan. He says I'm the greatest comic, ever, one of his favorites. The feeling is not reciprocated. It's like one of the funniest.
James Corden?
Yeah.
That's funny.
He's like, imagine James Corden liking me. It's like a dog listening to classical music. And I love James Corden. I was on the show. Hope to be on again. But it's just such a funny diss.
Yes, of course. Well, James Corden also.
You like my pussy move at the end? I love James Corden. Please have me on again.
They're not bringing you back. It's over.
I got 4 months. I might.
You think he'll?
I don't know.
Give me that guy's email. Let me send it.
But yeah. So watch my special. Can I keep on doing that like a shill? No, that's stupid.
Just tell them to watch the special. Just go check it out.
Because I do podcasts. I was telling this to Bobby. I like forget to mention it, and then
I'm like that last night. I didn't even finish my plugs last night on Bobby's podcast.
All right. Well, we had to go through his entire chapter.
You know what? I think you distracted him during my plugs, and then he just started. I was telling plugs, and then they showed his on the screen, and you went, "Oh, you're in Levistown or something." And he goes,
"I know.
Yeah, I'm in all these places." And then I was just
I feel bad. I think I also interrupted you a couple of times. I
don't give a fuck.
You know what it was?
No one's watching that show. By the time the plugs, listen.
No one's watching the third hour of his...
Yes, I like Bobby, and I love him, and I love that generation.
No one's watching this show, but they are going to watch this show, which is just literally the Talking Dead for Bobby Kelly's podcast. We're just like,
and
they're
then
not going to watch the show, but they're going to watch the breakdown afterwards.
And then it was like for 5 minutes he was just blowing his nose. Let's play the tape. I like Bobby and all that, but doing the podcast is not going to change your career. I just do it because I like Bobby.
Yeah,
and I like that generation of comics, and I've always. Whatever. So anytime I get a chance to even like work with them, I guess in any way, I'm always happy.
Yeah, of course, he's great.
But in terms of bringing views for your nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know.
I don't know what.
Trust me. While I was walking the 6th floor of this fucking building because the elevator's not working, I was like,
you know what? Oh, I just thought you could use the exercise, so I staged the broken.
It's like a Nathan for you.
It's like just to get in your head. I want to win. I want to win the podcast. I
don't mean to be judgy here, but the guy. This is going to be awful.
Please.
The guy like downstairs looks like a crazy person.
The Dominican guy?
Well, I don't know. You always have to bring race into it. You don't got to bring race. I don't know. I don't know what race. I don't see race. I don't see gender. He was a blob. He was an indiscriminate blob.
But you said it was a guy, so you do see gender. He was a scary guy.
He just seemed a little. He just was. I'm gonna sound like such a white girl right now. He wasn't like in an outfit. He was just like in sweatpants.
Oh, I don't know who that guy is.
Well, it might have been a crazy person because he opened the door for the place. I thought it was a crazy, but then he was like telling people which. I think he may have been a crazy person. Actually, let me check my wallet.
No, I don't know because the guy who was there was wearing like a brown, like almost like work clothes.
This guy was not an outfit.
You have a beard and like a do-rag?
He was a little, he was like holding the door for, because you know how sometimes like homeless people like hold the door for you?
Yeah.
Which is a little weird because like they hold the door and they're like, I mean, I'm not going to.
It's tough. I
had no issue with the door.
I would like them to do something. It's like now, it's like in future now, I can't touch door handles because I know you guys are getting your fucking mitts all over them.
Yeah, if you want me to give money, you got to do a song or a dance. I'm just joking.
Spin your hat on your head and say, showtime,
but the door opening is a little like...
Sell Welch's.
Because now I have to walk by you.
I know.
And I support homeless people in theory. But the problem is, in reality...
Not here.
It's hard, like... I was telling you, because I do... It's so funny. I'm like a liberal, you know? And I'm like...
Mm-hmm.
But like...
Hold on.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You can't be like... You can't be morning radio and not be quick about it. Morning radio's got to be. You can't be like, oh, hold on. Let me get it.
There was an email popped up or something, and I was trying to get rid of it.
Fucking morning radio guys are like, oh, give me 1 second.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm not.
Shh. Boing, boing, boing.
I'm gonna edit the shit out of this so that I said that before you even got a chance to finish your sentence.
We need Michael Winslow in here. He would have been right. You need him sitting next.
Dun dun dun.
I'll be so sad if his career dries up and he just becomes the guy on radio the people who can't afford sound effects machines.
Yeah.
So he's just sitting there, just doing the sound effects thing.
Yeah, they just go number 6.
But anyway. I'm a liberal guy, and I support homeless people. I'm all about them jacking off in public. I'll watch. I support them. But someone the other day was like, oh, you know, there's a homeless shelter being built like in Astoria, where I'm from. And I literally went, it just came out of my soul. And I went, God damn it.
That end train is going to be fucked.
I'm like,
dude.
That is liberalism to a degree. I'm like, liberal. And then I find out the homeless shelter's there. And I'm like, God damn it! I like homeless people. I just don't want them to be around.
That's the problem with. It's the problem with all icky people. It's like you deserve to have a nice life. Just away. Like,
you know what it is. And
just away.
Here's where and anyone can judge me. Like I know you have a lot of woke liberal fans who will be offended by this, but but here's what it comes down to ultimately. I feel terrible for homeless people. In reality though, it is really hard in the moment to sympathize with someone who smells really bad. That's just a primal thing. Like when someone smells bad, it's hard to be like, oh, you just, because on an evolutionary level, you're like, get the bad smell away from me.
It's poison.
Yeah. But so it's hard to like, be like, you know what I mean? I would love homeless people if they were cute and they smelled great and weren't homeless.
That's why. That's because there's no homeless women.
Oh, I mean, there are definitely homeless.
Nah, where?
I guess you just don't consider them women at a certain point.
You gotta find. I don't know where you're hanging out. I've never seen a fucking homeless woman.
We can't have this conversation. I'm gonna get fucking canceled.
You're not gonna get canceled for anything.
I love homeless people. I love homeless shelter.
Yeah, wash yourself. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Will you?
I give money to homeless people.
You fucking junkies.
But only when I give money to homeless people when I have like an important audition, which is just like it's some form of like spiritual capitalism.
Like God, hey.
Yeah. I'm like, here's $5. I hope this audition goes well tonight. Like it's just I'm literally using homeless people for my own good karma. It's like very exploitive.
But everyone that does that and good is probably doing it kind of to be like,
it's good.
Impress a chick. All I'll do is sometimes I'll give like one homeless guy like $5, and then I'm like, oh, that's me done for the week. Fuck off.
Yeah, I gave a homeless guy $20 once, and I never gave money.
I've been good for 5 years on that. Dude, that gets you straight to heaven. Sorry, in 1998, and you have a photo of it. I gave this guy some yen.
But you know what's crazy? People are like, what I never understood, which is so awful, when people are like, well, they're just going to use it for drugs. And I'm like,
of course.
Yeah, withdrawal is an awful, awful, terrible thing. So, like, and you shouldn't withdraw cold turkey. So if they're not going to, like, go to detox, I mean, I think it's okay for them to do drugs. I mean, you're basically saying I want them to hallucinate and shiver.
What's the solution? There's so many now at this point.
The solution to homelessness?
Is there, I don't really see much outside of like some sort of genocide type thing. I don't know. I'm just lacking ideas, but I don't know what's going to happen. What's the solution? Legalize drugs?
No, I think the solution really comes down to, and it actually started with Kennedy. There was back in the day. See, we went to two different extremes, and I just want to. Back in the day, you could commit someone for being crazy.
Yeah.
You just throw them in a mental institution, and then they get lobotomized, and then they'd be really nice. And that was a little too extreme. But then we went the other way, where, like, because Kennedy had, I believe, a sibling who was committed. We went the other way, where you really can't have someone committed unless they're, like, really a danger to themselves or someone else, right? And then Reagan defunded, like, pretty much most mental institutions. So the reason there's all these crazy people is because, like, there's no more mental institutions. So literally, like, New York City is just one giant outdoor mental institution. Yeah. And sometimes I feel like when I walk in Greenwich Village, I'm like one of the people working at One Flew Over Cuckoo's desk. I'm like, hey, Jim. He's throwing shit on himself. Phil, how's the Martians? You know what I mean? I'm like an orderly, you know? And then so they got rid of that, and now you can't really commit someone, and there's no funding, and it gets into this moral question: should you be, if there's someone on the street screaming about Satan and like picking, like eating food off bones, and
he shit his pants weeks ago.
And you're like, and probably schizophrenic, needs medication. Needs medication.
Get hosed down.
And you're like, well, they're not a danger to anyone. And I'm like, but
it's not great.
But it is not great. And you know what? The idea is that you should have like the liberty to not be committed, but it's like you don't have liberty when you're mentally deranged. That's not liberty. You need medication.
So lock them up.
To at least, I don't know the end. I think
lock them up.
Lock them up. I think there should be some kind of. I don't know. I mean,
I feel like there should be like an island, like a homeless island.
It's a slippery slope, but I love how I'm saying like practical things. You're like, so kill them, right? Kill them. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to get to the. I'm summarizing the point for the guys that zoned out. We're not like the way we did with Australia, where we sent all the rapists right to Australia.
Yeah, to make the country. Yeah.
Well, first of all, that also created jobs for the other ones to look after the rapists.
The rape treatment centers.
The prison, exactly. But if we had an island for homeless people and send them to it. Somewhere in the Cook Islands, I don't know where they are. Wherever there's probably an island that we could send them.
You know the Holocaust. Before the Holocaust, the Jews, Hitler the original plan was to send the Jews to Madagascar. So it's funny, like the worst tragedy of one of the worst tragedies of all time was very close to being the funniest sitcom of all time.
Where they all showed up and all the animals were speaking. And
just Gilligan's Island. what is the squirrel on the tree? It looks like a squirrel. They call it a lemur. A lemur. What's a lemur? It's so hot out here. Lemurs everywhere. Get these lemurs away. Oh, he's stealing. It's like it was like a really fun. I mean, I'm kidding. They would have just died out there. But
was that legitimately his plan?
Yep.
Why Madagascar? Like, what was that about? Did he just find it on the map and said, "Fuck it, that'll do"?
Yeah, it was he spun this globe and just pointed.
Where you're going to?
A very whimsical moment. No, I think I just don't think there's a lot of people there, and I think they thought lemurs would get along with Jews. They seem to, lemurs are kind of the
plan
Jews
was always
of the primate.
To send them. The plan was to send them.
I mean, but to be clear, sending them is mass death too. Like when you send a group of people with nothing to an island, that is kill. So at that point, I think deep down they're like, yeah, we're gonna kill them. But like, it was either should we kill them off by sending them somewhere else?
It's a long ass train ride.
Yeah, but then
that's crazy.
Then they went systematic.
Systematic.
Yeah, killing them. But
have you been to Auschwitz?
I have. Yeah, I have not. I've been to Poland. I have not been to Auschwitz.
Interesting.
My merch, though.
I've been to Auschwitz. I haven't been to Poland.
My merch is a shirt that says I went to the Auschwitz Museum and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
Oh, nice.
No, just that.
No.
Would that sell well?
Maybe, but I did. They do have a gift shop at Auschwitz, and you can buy key rings and shit.
You think they call it a gift shop? Is it a gift? I guess it is a gift shop.
I don't know what they call it.
There's a gift shop.
I don't know what
the
Polish is. Yeah. There's like a little room you can buy a postcard. I have a postcard at home from Auschwitz.
Right. Do they have like a puzzle?
Not an original. It's not an original. With like just
a postcard from Auschwitz?
And it has the sign from that says hope.
So you went to Auschwitz.
Hope.
I just spit right in your eye.
I think I cut the Jew. You know what Hitler did?
That spit really just went right in. I think you can slow motion that.
You lobbed it right into my mouth, which is fine.
So you went to Auschwitz.
Play that backwards so it looks like I'm spitting on him. All right. I want to have him coming in big dogging me. I went to Auschwitz, yeah. And then on the sign it says, I think it says "Work shall set you free" or "Hope shall set you free" or something.
No, work shall set you free.
Is that what it is? Yeah. It's great. It sounds awful, right? Auschwitz, right? It's obviously sad. Like it's a great day out in the grand scheme of like tourism. It's a good day. Like the amount of tourist stuff you do, you're just gonna go. I would never do that again.
I mean,
Auschwitz is like it's also not that sad. They don't like play into it. If that was America, there'd be like sad music and they would be really like making me cry. Right. They sort of just, it's very factual. This is what it is. Let's go. Like,
yeah.
They don't dig into it. And
that'd be weird if they played music. It's like people would be like, yeah, it's sad. We don't need help.
Yeah, well,
we don't need aid.
I thought I could have been crying at some point, but it was never quite like that. It was sort of just more like this is the shoes.
But you have to. What is the etiquette though? Do you have to be like you can't like you have to be like have a somber face the whole time. Right?
I don't know. They kept telling me to turn my phone off. I'm like, hello? Nah, the reception's terrible.
Do they have the mountain?
Who would even live here?
Do they have the mounted shoes there?
They have a big pile of shoes. Yeah, it's not mountain.
I was trying to do a bit because it
was like 100,000 people, so it was like not that many shoes.
I was trying to do a bit. It never worked about how like those mountain of shoes or the pile of shoes. It was a perfect time period for that because it was all drab, brown, like nondescript shoes.
Yeah.
But if the Holocaust happened in the 90s, that mountain of shoes would not have the same somber effect.
Because we all Jordans.
Yeah, it'd just be people watching like, is that the Air?
Yeah.
Is that the Air Jordans? Is that?
Yeah, just a random stiletto with a goldfish in it. You know,
man, I think I had those. I think I had those Nikes as a kid. It'd just be like all this neon green.
Yeah, some sluts high heels.
Yeah, like it worked out really well that like.
Well, no wonder she couldn't get away. What was she wearing?
It worked out well that all the shoes were sad back then.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Those shoes were perfect for a Holocaust.
It's an interesting place. It's an interesting place. It does definitely go. You leave with a real sense of, oh well, I'm trusting no one. Trust no one.
Yeah.
And also, lie. Start lying. You can just tell people things, and it's like, gets going.
It's interesting. So you're like,
you do
trust no one and lie
to these idiots because they're lying to you. Someone's lying to you somewhere.
Yeah.
So we all just got to start lying back.
That's
the trick.
The reaction you got from Auschwitz
was to lie more.
I think if there was like a sociopath test.
No, I'm just saying.
It was like, what was your reaction to Auschwitz? And the reaction was manipulate people more.
I go, the Nazis, logistically incredible, masters of psychology, but yeah, like
I'm fucking obsessed with them.
Yeah, the Nazis.
I've read like 4 Hitler biographies. I read books now on all the Nazi inner circle people.
For anyone that doesn't know,
What?
You are a Jew for people that watch, just in case anyone can't
you don't
hear
know
you.
I was
Just
a
in case your
Jew,
mic is turned off.
just in case you're blind and deaf.
All right, listen. How about this? Right, sometimes when
If you don't know I'm a Jew, then you've never met a Jew.
Sometimes when two kids or something or people can't get along, they'll do these exercises where they go, okay, how about this? Say something nice about them, and then they can say something nice about you, and it builds a bridge. So, could you, as a Jew, what would you say did nice about the Nazis? So just
I thought you meant the Irish people.
No. We get along. I'm saying for the Nazis, put out an olive branch. What would you say? Look, I guess the uniforms are slick. Hugo Boss, right? Hugo?
It was Hugo Boss.
Volkswagen too?
It's like every BMW.
There's a Volkswagen.
Mercedes.
Was it? There's a Volkswagen, like a fireplace in Auschwitz with the original fucking VW sign. And that's like a whole I think they're always like, can you get rid of that? No.
What would I say nice about the Nazis? Well, because they're evil, they're very interesting. So they're really
But they're not all evil.
Well, the Nazis?
Well, there's a lot of them are just soldiers. The SS that were involved in the genocide.
Oh, well,
they were evil. You could.
I guess I don't consider the soldiers Nazis.
You only consider the SS
if
someone was fighting in Belgium, shooting someone in the head, he's just fighting for his country the same way anyone else.
I don't consider that a Nazi. Yeah,
all right, so a lot
of Nazi is in the party.
This guy just said Nazis aren't that bad. Can you believe it?
Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't begrudge people who are forced to fight for their country.
Of course.
Yeah. No, I mean, first of all, I mean the inner circle. I mean the head people.
Yes,
they're all pretty.
Those guys, you can't. Himmler doesn't get a pass.
It was funny. I read this 600-page fucking memoir by Albert Speer, who was the architect that Hitler loved, and he became the head of ammunitions. And he was always had this kind of thing of he was the one not bad Nazi because he wasn't really involved in the killings. And then when Hitler told him to destroy everything. Hitler wanted a scorched earth. Hitler wanted to destroy, basically make Germany not functioning when the Allies came in, and he refused to do it.
Oh, okay.
And also at one point he almost was considering killing Hitler. And so you read this memoir, you're like, wow, this is a really fascinating case about someone who wasn't an evil person who was friends with Hitler.
Yeah.
And then after I read it, I found out he lied about everything and knew all the Jews were getting killed. I'm like, I just wasted fucking.
You trusted a Nazi, dude? I know. How many times?
I didn't learn the message from
these Jews. They just always believe everything.
He said work should set you free. I started working more jobs.
That's great. Well, what was that movie? That's probably fictional too. About was it these? They were trying to copy the dollar. Was it? They were trying to forge the dollar. So didn't they get some Polish amazing forgers, and they were like, "You have to copy the dollar."
I don't know that movie
because the plan was for them to put so much money, in illegal, fake money in America, would crash the dollar.
Oh, really?
They were trying to just flood the market with dollars.
I don't know that movie.
I think it's just called Forge or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But then they were like, "Oh, we're just so bad at forging today for some reason." I was like, "Yeah."
But
what about the Nazi soldiers then? Operation Paperclip.
Oh, right.
That was good. We wouldn't have been on the moon if it wasn't for
Hitler.
I mean, so hey, look.
I'm trying to think. I mean, they are they are interesting. Goebbels has a limp and is a fucking and is all into this propaganda shit. They're characters. It's Dick Tracy shit. Fucking Goring is fat and this military hero who's really lavish and shit. And then Himmler believes in all this weird Aryan mythology and shit. It's just they're just interesting characters. I think when people are kind of evil or awful, they're interesting characters because it's foreign to you,
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think something good about the Nazis. That's a tough one.
I know they did some horrible science experiments on Jews, really.
That's your option for the good thing.
I'm just saying. Look. Totally inhumane to do that.
But I don't think they learned anything.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Did they learn something?
No,
they might have got something.
It was if you kill an identical twin in front of their identical twin brother, that brother will look sad. That was the social experiment.
No, it was always what if I put a toe? What if I replace your eyes with toes and stuff like that?
I guess I
that's what they were doing.
Hitler was he loved animals.
Did he?
Yeah, he was vegetarian.
Eva Braun.
I try to do a joke. I have so many.
You're allowed to be misogynistic.
I have so many Hitler joke bombs.
I had one. Call her a fat slut. If we can't call her a fat slut,
I had one line I was trying to do from. I was like, so Hitler married Eva Braun, and then an hour later, he commits suicide. She must have been one nag, huh? She must have been quite. Yeah, she's really bad at seeing red flags, don't you think?
She really
ignored them.
She liked them. She was impressed. I think a lot of women would marry Hitler. I feel like a lot of women would just they get confused by the power. I think it's just.
I mean, there are. I don't know if it's like good things, but Hitler was. I mean, there are things about Hitler where he was like smart and cunning and manipulative in ways that like
a lot of stuff
were extraordinary.
Yeah,
like not good, but they were like,
of course,
extraordinary. You know,
well, just a dumb guy couldn't have pulled off what he did.
No, and he knew about a lot of stuff, and he knew how to manipulate people. He knew how to get people to like fight for his approval, and I mean, there was something when he spoke. He had a power. It's hard to understand now because he's just like screaming, but like he was magnetic. And they say because I think he was pretty celibate. I think it was pretty celibate, so I think it became like an orgasmic thing, him speaking, and it almost became like this sexual magnetism with the crowd, where that's how he kind of got off, you know?
Oh yeah,
by just fucking, you know.
He was celibate, was he?
Not celibate. He didn't fuck a lot.
He was all fucked up though, right? He had a tiny dick or something. Or was that just propaganda?
I think it was propaganda.
He was all fucked up because he was on drugs and shit. There's like all these clips of his arms shaking and things.
Well, his arm was shaking because
he had Parkinson's, was it?
No, it was after he got
shot.
The assassination that blew up him in the meeting room. His hands started shaking. Never heard of that. It was like I think it was like trauma from that.
Is there any female genocidal women like?
What do you mean?
There's got to be a woman who killed a bunch of guys, right?
Are you talking about serial killer or genocide?
No, like so you got Hitler, you got who else killed a lot of people? Mao. Is it Mao?
Yeah, that's a man.
That's a man. Who else we got? Stalin.
Stalin is a man. Pol Pot, man.
Pol Pot's, yes, the Cambodian. Is there any there has to be a woman out there that fucking.
I mean, there was in the Rwanda genocide. There were.
Hillary Clinton. Benghazi, bitch.
Wait, hold on. Give me a minute. Where is it?
Wait, you want a different one?
I don't know. I mean, there were some women in the Rwanda genocide who definitely
what? Rwanda genocide?
In the head of it, who definitely like spread words of killing people. Yeah.
Check that out. Are you searching?
There was one woman who was
David's checking that out, yeah.
And
Davy boy. There's got to be a woman that's.
There's some women involved in the Houthis group that spread the genocide and the Rwanda genocide. That's serial killer. That's different.
No, what woman? Just Google what woman killed the most amount of people.
But that's not. I mean that. Yeah, Eileen Wuornos. She only killed she barely killed anyone. No, there's way more prolific than that. I mean, there's women who like poison people. A lot of people. Meet the woman who killed over. I mean, Eileen Wuornos. She barely did anything.
See, this is what we're talking about in terms of like the glass ceiling and the patriarchy. We've never given women the opportunity to be as evil as they've never reached their full potential.
Well, there's just not that many women leaders. I think you gotta, you know what I mean? Like
they're just not captivating.
But
they don't get you going.
Yeah.
If Hitler was a woman and she came out going, we'd be like, oh, shut up, fucking too much. You would though. You would genuinely go, tone it down. Then he comes along and go, yeah, hell yeah.
The amazing thing about Hitler, that's a bad sound.
His cooking? He had a cookbook?
But, and I don't want to...
Pasta with
the comic Bobby Condon has a joke about this. I didn't know at the time, but so it's his joke. But it is amazing that, like, I read it in one biography. His father originally changed his name from Hitler, and it was originally a different name. And if he didn't change his name, there's no way Hitler would have become powerful because it was literally like Schwarzengruber. It was like you can't go. I forget the actual name. If someone could look it up, but
Hitler's
it was something.
Family's birth name.
It was something where like you could never get a Hail Schwarzenberger. Like you can't get the Hail.
Yeah, the Hail Hitler.
Hail Hitler's perfect. What was the name?
It's alliteration.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like if his father did change his name,
Steigenberg.
Hitler.
Steigenberg.
I mean, his birth name was Hitler. You say Hitler's
Goring?
Hitler's dad's Hitler. Yeah, go down. What was Hitler's name? No, go down. Scroll down even further. Oh, I just saw it.
What was Hitler's name before he changed it?
Yeah, there it is. It's in there.
It's right.
Yeah, what was Hitler's name? Yeah. Schicklgruber.
Schicklgruber.
Heil Schicklgruber. You can't. That wouldn't have worked.
Heil Schicklgruber.
Heil Schicklgruber. You can't.
Schickler. Maybe they'll shorten it to Schickler. Schickler. Heil Schickler.
But the Hail Hitler. It's an alliteration.
It's perfect.
All of genocide is based on just the alliteration of Hail Hitler.
It was just a nice little, little tag, a little.
Anyway,
little
my
jingle.
special is out today. It's called The Holocaust Never Happened. It's no, my special is Jokes from the Underground, and it's is it okay to do that? I feel like a show.
No,
but
do it, please.
But
I'll cut it out anyway.
But I guess
we edit this a lot.
I guess if you listen to this, you've already heard me talk about it. It's not like it's a live thing.
Well, you just got to remind them to fucking do.
My special. Watch it right now. Turn this shit off. Turn this off. Fucking.
It would be so funny if I edited out all your plugs. That would just be just as the dumbest and unnecessary waste of everyone's time. If I just edit out all of your plugs for the
all I did was just walk 7 floors.
You just come in and then you just talked about Hitler for a while and only the nice things, and then you leave.
Hitler's amazing. Hitler's great.
And I go, sorry about that, guys. He just wouldn't stop talking about Hitler, and he had some stuff to plug, but in good conscience, I couldn't.
Well, that's what happens. Most podcasts I go on and they're like, I have this thing to plug, and I go on and I get distracted. And they're like, would you fuck a horse or a monkey? And then I'm like talking about that for like an hour. And I'm like, all right, I'll see you later. And then I leave. And I'm like, I never talked about my special. I just talked about how I want to fuck a horse.
Quick fire, Fonzie. Horse or monkey?
Fuck a horse or a monkey?
Yeah.
Horse.
Yeah?
You can get behind it easier.
Oh, I thought you like big dicks.
With a monkey, you could
I immediately think the horse is male.
Well, you got to ask what monkey. Because, first of all, if it's a chimp, which is a, primate, but if it's a chimp, you're screwed or you'll get destroyed.
That's what I'm saying. A monkey will fuck you up.
Yeah. Well, not all. You can
a horse can fuck you up too. He's not a buck yet, dude. He's not a buck
that's all
yet.
they got is the buck move.
It depends on what monkey. There's some monkeys you can fuck.
A horse is pussy must.
Not a chimp. A chimp. You don't want to fuck any of the primates. You don't want to fuck the
They're sedated. They're sedated.
Okay.
All right, they're not gonna get attacked. Their hands are in fucking oven mitts. All right, they're not gonna hurt you.
You don't want to fuck
in this hypothetical situation. They're chained to a bed. They're blindfolded with a gag in their mouth.
They're all sneaking up behind
and
them.
you've got their nipples tased. And they're like,
you don't want to fuck a chimp or a gorilla or a orangutan. But you can fuck like
a gorilla's too. No, that's too big. That's like
the outbreak
scary.
Monkey. Well, you don't want to fuck the outbreak monkey because he seems.
You want to get a little
he
small.
He has outbreak disease.
You want to get a little.
Yeah.
Like a little.
Well, that's like the Richard Pryor.
Yes, great bit. Yeah.
It is a great bit. Honestly, one of the best things he ever did in that special. It's such a small moment. It's funny, but it's so beautiful. Is the part where the monkeys die. And first of all, no one's more vulnerable than Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
He literally goes on the special. He's like, my monkeys died. It's so bare. You know what I mean? And then that conversation with the dog is one of the most beautiful things ever, where the dog's just like, oh, those monkeys just died?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was going to eat them, too. And they have, this little moment, and then the dog is like, all right, I'll be chasing your ass tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's this moment of just, peace.
He's a genius.
Moment of peace and, life is awful. That dog's going to chase him tomorrow. But in this moment, they're just reflecting on grief. And it's a moment of escape from the reality of life. It's just such a beautiful.
I think a lot of comics though they talk about Richard Pryor's greatness because he was he talked about the whorehouses and all that stuff. I was that was not even the most his best stuff was just the most common. Just as ability as a regular comic had nothing to do with the fucking the brothels and all that. Stuff. Or even any of his opinions on race. It was just funny shit going hunting. In the woods with your friends, the difference between black people and white people going hunting. That's just incredible stand-up. That's nothing to do with his upbringing.
There's so many things about him that it's hard to fully understand how great he was because and this is something I don't think people this is where the effortlessness comes into. He when Robin Williams is on stage, he's clearly making a big effort to be different characters. Yeah, and it seems like a lot. He's and it's a lot of work, and it gets a little exhausting watching. He's like, I'm here. I'm this character. Somewhere in India, someone's going, blah, 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 But Richard Pryor will effortlessly become 14 different people in about a minute.
Yeah.
And you won't at any point be like, this is a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It's effortless.
Yeah.
And he will fucking anthropomorphize anything. He will become a tire.
Yeah.
He will become a car. He will become a heart. Having a heart.
The
You'll
car,
become the
car's
heart
the
attack.
funny when the car gets shut and he goes, oh.
I mean, it's incredible. The fact
the car
that
tire gets shut and he goes, oh.
the fact that he can become everything,
Yeah.
but while still looking cool and effortless.
And then it's like it's barely even fucking written. It's just like bullet points.
It's not even like a lot of it isn't jokes, like traditional jokes. A lot. If anything, it's actually like way more theatrical than any other comic. It's like it's more a one man show than.
It's also he does a lot of stuff. Like he does a lot of big act outs. Like we'll have a heart attack and he's lying on the ground. He's rolling up and down the stage. And like a lot of people just give him a pass for some reason. But if you were to start doing that at the fucking VU tonight, everyone's just like, all right,
I actually
get off the fucking ground.
Did we talk about this? I was thinking about this.
Maybe.
Like comics used to be able to go on the stage, like fall on the stage, and they don't really do that anymore. Just lie on the stage. Like,
yeah, you should be able to.
He did that. Bill Hicks has done that. Sam Kinison was like always on the stage.
Everyone, Louie just has a bad knee. It's the only reason he's never gone down. But everyone else has done it. Like fucking Burr's done stuff where he's like falling and things like that.
Yeah, but you're right. Richard Pryor, like what he did, it is like
there was
crazy.
This generation comics where they all became very, and I think it's probably because of New York where all the open mics are just built in these tiny little stages.
Are so small,
and so you can only stand like this.
What about LA? Probably has like all the
LA. They're just doing the worm constantly. The 10 minutes of just fucking just like all over the place.
I was talking to.
But Pryor, I think Pryor's like the gold standard, and I don't think anyone's ever really been better. Because he was like one of the first people to do it, so they kind of had to.
Pryor's the gold standard that you can't learn from. He's too good. He's too talented. Pryor's like the best.
Yeah.
But what he does involves skills that you can learn from Carlin. You can learn from Bill Cosby. I mean, learn what not to do for a lot of it. But you like
wait. Write that down. Clip that so it seems like that was.
Richard Pryor is like I think the way people feed Robin Williams, he is like that, but just a much better version of that. Where it's like no one's looking at Robin Williams being like, I can learn from this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's like, I'll just do that. I'll just run across the stage and somewhere in India, someone's going, well, like or whatever the fuck he does. But like, but Richard Pryor's like that where you can't really.
I went through a phase. I listened to I listened to every album I could of Pryor, like about 2 years ago maybe. And I started thinking almost like Pryor or whatever, and I was like coming up with bits. I was like, oh, that's kind of that. And then I'd do them on stage.
It's nothing.
And I would bomb so hard. It was like almost like, why would that even mean? I was like, because that's kind of like what he was doing.
It's not.
You got to be black in the 70s. You fucking don't get it. You don't jive, turkey.
He has some great jokes, but it's not really. He gets the most laughs out of.
He's got
behavior.
he's got great jokes when he talks about the cops shooting the cars. He hate the shots.
No, but I think
he goes because they don't shoot cars.
See, that's the thing. I think
they shoot.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think that's a bad joke.
You think that's a bad joke?
Yeah,
I think that's great.
To the point where I think someone else wrote it for him.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I think that's a great joke. That's like a pure good written. It's like wordplay in a weird way.
Yeah, but it's like such a stretch. I think that's a bad joke. I think his best stuff is more of like it's behavioral. It's behaviorisms. So it's him becoming like someone else really quickly in that reaction.
He had this one joke that I loved where he talks about the difference between his girlfriends and his wives.
Yeah.
And he's like, when they're girlfriends, they're like, whatever. And then when you're married, one day you come home and she's like, she turns on the light, she's like, where have you been? And he turns into like this Nazi.
Yeah, and that is a joke.
What time do you call this?
And that is, I mean, that obviously is like a joke. So I don't mean he doesn't have jokes. I just mean the kind of George Carlin jokes he doesn't have. To me, he has the scenarios, the sketch kind of stuff, and the behaviors. And
what do you think of Carlin? I think Carlin's overrated.
He's never made me laugh in my life.
Yes! Shawshank Redemption sucks. Carlin's overrated.
Carlin is one of those guys who I understand he's great.
At times.
And I feel guilty about it, but he does not make me laugh.
It's very rare.
And I actually think a lot of his bits are wrong. I actually think his points are like reductive sometimes, and actually
like
kind of. He has this whole
gays should not get married.
He has this whole bit about like how you add words like with shell shock.
Oh yeah, how they
and how the words
get longer,
and then at the end he's like, maybe if we just kept it with the original word, maybe people would get the treatment they deserved. And it's like, no, even like no one was getting good treatment when they called it shell shock. Yeah. If anything, the words adding to it actually brought more attention to it. That's actually just not true. Like he's basically saying in World War II or World War I, when you called it shell shock, that was the best case scenario. No one got treatment for mental shit after World War. Like it's just an incorrect fact.
I guess you're right. It's like rape's always been rape, and it's not like it's
I just don't think political political correctness definitely like
he's just overrated, man. All these old comics, I love it. It's a shame because all my favorite comics love him. So it's always like
I don't get it. I mean, there are some bits where I'm like, that's an amazing point.
He has one in every album.
Yeah, but
most of it's just him screaming about nothing.
He's like angry in a way that, you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is.
Tell me. Break it down.
There's not a lot of goofiness.
He's too serious?
He's too serious.
He's just
I think you need a little goofiness. And a lot of times, I know I just said.
just throw in some silly. Yeah.
And I know I said he's incorrect sometimes, but the other problem is sometimes he's just a little too right. Like, it's not, like, sometimes it's funny if you're wrong. It's mostly funny when you're wrong.
It's also hard to put, us listening to it, it's also hard. You got to remember at, like, 1994 when people heard that. It was probably a great, refreshing idea.
It's so groundbreaking. Sometimes when something is so groundbreaking, it seems very dated now. Like, I always say Oklahoma the musical, people look at that, it's like
the cowman and the farmer should be friends.
But it seems like the most...
One man likes to milk a cow, the other one wants to pull a plow.
It seems like the most old, dated thing, but... When that show came out, it was like hugely controversial because it was like the first musical to really have a narrative. It was the first music, which was like it was basically experimental when it came out.
We got to do a watch along. We got to do an Oklahoma watch along, guys.
Well, it was the first narrative.
For the Patreon.
It was the first one that didn't open with a chorus, just opened with someone coming out on stage singing, and it had like most shows before that were just reviews where there was like a thin plot, but it was mostly just singing. So this was like it was like experimental.
It was just a bunch of guys at a game and they would whatever they'd all sing for
but now you watch Oklahoma, it's like seems so dated, but it's like there's
what was the theme that two versions of white people couldn't get along? Was that what it was?
What?
Oklahoma. What's it about? It's about farmers and cowboys not getting along.
It's about farmers in Oklahoma.
And they don't get along, and then eventually they do get along.
Yeah, I guess
so. It's like it was a way of. Nowadays that would be racial, but back then it was just like these are two different types of white guys. That's what the whole theme was. Like, hey, you can get along with other white guys, you know that? It was like, and it was like, no.
But yeah, so that's what George Carlin. I think George Carlin, like speaking like truth to power and speaking openly and bluntly in the 90s was like usually refreshing. But now it feels like it's really lacking jokes, and a lot of it is like this weird wordplay that it's just kind of like. If you're pre-kindergarten, you're like wordplay. And he also seems sometimes equally angry about the Iraq war as he is about driveways being called parkways or whatever or shit. So it's like the anger's a little devalued. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but he's still brilliant.
They're always doing that. It's like, isn't everything within walking distance?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, shut the fuck up.
I know.
Shut the fuck up, George Carlin.
Yeah,
you're not on my Mount Rushmore.
It is.
Also, late one of his last specials, he comes out and he just goes, "Fuck kids," and he gets like a standing out, and you go, "All right, well, no, let's not do that." I'm sorry, I'm not into that.
I don't know the people who like laugh. Like, I don't think people are like laughing hysterically at it.
How old are you? 29. Oh, I thought you were like
but here's
a child.
the thing. I
wouldn't have let you in here if you were 29.
Here's the thing, though. I would take.
You're 29. How old are you?
24.
You're 24? Yeah. I thought you were two 24-year-old fucking Italian fucking retards. Now you're a 29-year-old?
True.
Nah, you don't know, Anton, about the fucking TikTok.
But here's something, and you'll probably disagree. I would take Bill Hicks over George Carlin any day. I think Bill Hicks...
I don't know about that either.
I think Bill Hicks is hilarious.
And
very goofy and has great jokes. I think people...
I like Hicks's old shit before you like
yeah, I get it. I don't like anything with a point. I get it.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, the point should be hidden in there. You don't need to be coming out and telling me.
Either way.
Hey, man, the government. Hey, man, taxes theft, man. You're like, shut the fuck up.
But
you're a billionaire.
Shut
the fuck up.
I still think there's hilarious stuff in his later stuff. He's a great joke writer. He always was. Yeah.
Nah, died too late. Died too old.
I should probably go, by the way.
Yeah,
I gotta
no,
set up for
fuck
my
off
thing.
out of here.
Yeah.
Everyone, make sure you check out Raanan Hershberg. Follow
Jokes
him on
from the
social
Underground.
media.
It's out right now. Go on YouTube. Jokes from the Underground.
Head over. Support it. Thanks so much for coming out.
Oh, I didn't mean to do it so abruptly.
We'll wrap it up.
But I realized,
that's the best way to do it.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for having me, Colin.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was a great conversation, man.
Yeah, great to
Appreciate
be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.